A great way to save thousands, or a final regular nail in marriage's coffin. Two women argue for and against divorce at the touch of a button. Couples may soon be able to divorce at the click of a button. Following a successful pilot scheme, marriages across the country could soon be ended by filling in an online form under government plans to shake up the court system. But is it a great way to save thousands of pounds, or a final nail in marriage's coffin? For mum of one divorcee Lucy Dixon, 38, from Suffolk, it's a welcome initiative. She explains, when I got married in 2011, the whole ceremony took just 20 minutes and cost £400. The registrar asked the usual question about anyone knowing why we should not be wed, but aside from that, it was a straightforward and cheap process. Splitting up 2 years later was a whole different story though, with an initial payment of £1,200 to my solicitor just to get the ball rolling. Every stage of the divorce process, and there are lots, appears to be designed to take as long as possible, while the legal fees and the resentment build up. My solicitor defended the huge fees by saying that couples happily cough up thousands on a wedding, although not in my case, so they should be equally willing to spend on a divorce. A ludicrous comparison, in my view, as most of the money for weddings goes on the party, and, as yet, divorce parties involving dress fittings, 3-course meals and 100 guests are not a thing. Lucy says she's delighted to hear that the online divorce pilot is likely to be extended to more locations across the UK, with the aim of simplifying some aspects of the complicated and emotional process. So far, her divorce has cost her around £2,000, and it isn't even completed yet. She says this could cut the cost and hopefully time of getting divorced significantly, particularly for people like me, whose divorce petition is uncontested and, theoretically, could be sorted in minutes. These days you can get married in a treehouse dressed as Minnie Mouse, if the desire takes you, but the divorce courts are still stuck in the dark ages, and an overhaul is long overdue. Although I've been divorced since late 2014, the consent order which I was advised to go for, even though it is not actually a legal requirement, has not yet been finalized. This bit of paperwork was described to me as a full financial split, which means that we no longer have any financial ties with each other and can't try to claim the other's pension or any inheritances. Why this isn't simply part of the divorce, I really don't understand, but the consent order is going to be another £1,500, and as I don't have the cash to spare, it's on the back burner for a while. My separation was amicable, but I still decided to petition for divorce as soon as I could. I just didn't feel comfortable being married anymore, and I was shocked to learn that this would cost me more. If I'd waited until 2 years after we separated, then this would have brought my costs down. According to my solicitor, this delay is designed to make sure couples really do want to split, which is just unbelievably patronizing. I can't remember anyone asking us to wait 2 years before getting married, just to make sure it was what we really wanted. Lucy reckons a digital divorce will actually help more married couples split up amicably. She explains, it is often once solicitors get involved that the mudslinging starts, and what was an amicable split turns into the War of the Roses. I can remember sitting down with my solicitor to draw up a selection of things my ex-husband had done wrong, the grounds for divorce that are needed by the courts. As the petitioner, I had to write down all the reasons why it should be granted, and my solicitor warned me that, if they didn't sound terrible enough, then the court could come back asking for more information, costing more money, which I was keen to avoid. Unsurprisingly, when my ex received the paperwork, he was annoyed at this list of his failings, and a few snarky texts were exchanged. Luckily, we managed to keep things civil. However, critics have claimed the proposed plans make divorce too easy. Catherine Hill, a former divorce lawyer who is now the UK Director of National Charity Care for the Family, agrees. She warns that it can undermine the sanctity of marriage, adding, it's bound to create the sense that it's much easier to get divorced if all you have to do is fill in a form. We live in a consumer society. My phone broke the other day. I took it to be repaired and they said, "Oh no, just have a new one." That way of thinking has crept into how we view marriage and relationships and commitments. We have seen so many times couples who think everything's over, and then they've managed to turn it